Hey guys, I'm back in the office, off of vacation. I am ready to get going, teaching you guys theology. I'm really excited about it. As a matter of fact, I'm so excited, I just took my kid to school. And on the way to school, I had a talk with him. And I want to share this talk because this talk that I had with him is universal. He's 13 years old, and every kid needs this, but every adult needs this, and we all need this. We need this over and over. I need this over and over. And this has to do with the devotion of your life to Jesus compared to the salvation that you have. Now, I don't want to get into any theological debates and labels right now. I don't care about that stuff. It drives me crazy. I mean, I know we get labeled eventually, but whenever I'm teaching, get off all labels. I'm going to use different terms just to mix things up, okay? Because I don't want to use labels. Now, here's the deal. I said to him, you know, my biggest fear is that one of my kids will not trust in Jesus and will be hellbound. That's my biggest fear. And you guys understand that because I know that's your biggest fear too with your kids if you're a Christian. Now, for me, I do believe that each one of my kids are on the right path and are believers. Now, I mean, I could be wrong because they're young and you know how it goes. So I keep on watching them, praying for them and everything else. But right now, that's not the big fear. The big fear for me is one of my kids won't follow Jesus, won't devote himself completely to Jesus. And this is the big crux, because it's so easy. It is so easy, and that's okay. It is so easy to turn over to Jesus your sins, your guilt, your shame, and to say, I'm sorry for what I've done. I'm sorry for my sins. Help me, Lord, forgive me. That is easy. And it's not meant to be hard. God didn't make it hard. He wasn't trying to make it hard. Jesus said, my yoke is easy. The burden is light. Take upon yourself the burden of carrying with me. And I've got it. I've got it. So it's not hard. I know that. And whenever you feel this conviction and you don't know where to turn and you collapse in your heart and you say, dear God, I'm a sinner, forgive me for my sins, then yes, I mean, that's easy. That's easy. But you know what? It's hard to say, God, you can have all of me. Now you got to understand, here's my past. My past was, I remember at 12 years old, I mean, I don't know when I became a Christian, but I do remember at 12 years old, leaning beside my bed and sincerely praying to Jesus. I didn't have any friends, or I did have friends, but they all left me one time, and it was just making me cry, and I was very upset, and my life was Jesus, me and Jesus sitting there. I remember me and Jesus sitting there, and me relying upon him. And I remember always asking for forgiveness for sins for years and years. But I was a louse. I was a hooligan. I was a terrible person from 15 to about 22. I mean, I've loaded every sin you could possibly do, just about every evil into that pack of years. And I mean, my ambition in life at that time was to say, Jesus, hold on, I'll be right back. I've got to go chase girls. I've got to go sleep with someone. That was my ambition. Now, what happened? Well, I mean, I changed. I knew I had to give myself over to him. I did. I kept on saying, Jesus, I'll be back. You know, like Bono says in one of his songs, I went out for the paper. I said I'd be back by noon. You know, I had gone out for the paper and I was not back, but I kept on saying, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. But I knew I had to come back. And eventually I prayed and prayed and prayed. And my prayer was not that, I'd become a Christian. It was that I'd kill it with him. I'd devote my life over to him. Everything would be his. I wanted everything to be his, but I didn't know how. And it was too hard because I loved my sin. And so do you sometimes. But whenever I was 22, somehow I did. Somehow I made that Romans 12 transition where I said, Lord, I need to now sacrifice my body, my entirety over to you. That's what I need to do. And I did. I sacrificed everything over to him at that time. Everything was his. At least Lord, here it is. I want everything to be yours, and the best I can, I give everything over to you. You know, I don't know what to give over to you yet, but everything that I know to give over to you, all those love, all the sins, I give them over to you, and I'm changing. I didn't become a Christian at that point, I don't think. Okay, some of you may say, well, that's when you became a Christian. No, I don't know. I mean, nah, come on. But I gave myself over to him, and whenever I gave myself over to him, I did